Welcome back to episode 17 of the moon. Here we are back in the good old base here, looking around, seeing what's going on with our plants here. So between 16 and 17, I made a few videos on robotic farming, and I'm going to update these farms to take advantage of the V2 work. Specifically changing out this first hydroponic tray and converting it over to a hydroponic device. It's interesting that if you disassemble the tray, you actually get the planted wheat back. And then we'll just use the original wheat that we had, if we grab it here correctly, and replant it. Now, of course, we're going to have to wait until all that grows, but we have a separate food supply. I want to get all this stuff set up, and I'm not sure where that first cable went to. I thought it went in there. Kind of looking around for that cable. Maybe I didn't hold it down all the way. All right, so I'm going ahead and just do the wiring, and then we'll go back and replace these. So this effectively will sync up my farm up to, we'll call it the 2.1 version. In V2 of my farming videos, I had the tray right next to the hydroponic device as a pipe. And here we don't do that, so that's not required. That's something I corrected in the V3. And I call it 2.1 as I will not add a second import bin per farm. So each farm will only have the one bin. Yeah, we got a little bit of wheat hanging around there. I'm also going to spend some time setting up the chute system, and so we'll remove that once the stacker we have on farm 1, we'll pull that out, and we'll just hook up all the farms together on the same single chute, and then we'll start to work on getting that across to the other side. Since this whole side of the base is really just farm 1 through 4, I'll use the other side for processing the wheat. And we'll go ahead and make sure everything's named. Just double checking my naming convention. That's interesting. Can I rename the wheat? I didn't actually try that. I was curious if. But you notice it allowed me to give me the option to rename the wheat in the tray, which is interesting. I wonder if I can rename the wheat that's laying around the ground too. A mystery for some future episode, or if you want to try it as homework. Now, I didn't want to go back and do a big configuration change to this. So, for example, I don't separate each farm with its own independent transformer. I just have them all scattered with this one big network, which makes configuring a little more fun. So because of the change, it's now the robot arm, then the hydroponic device, and then at the end is the import bin. So the import bin moved from D1 to D2, so we have to kind of shuffle things through here. Taking my time trying to find things here. And of course, the way it's set up now, it'll wait for that first tray before it goes ahead and starts, so we got a little bit of time. As you've watched the other videos, it will automatically handle the scenario of the very last tray having planted in, so we'll go ahead and just plant. We'll turn this off since the script will turn them on now. No reason to waste energy. We need to reprogram that chip, so we'll pop it out. And once again, we're just double checking everything. Turn that off, turn that off. Just double checking the plants here. This one started to run a little bit, so we just stopped it. pull that chip out. We got to reprogram or reset this one up. Now, if I was doing this from scratch, I would use the layout I had in V2 with the having everything isolated on its own transformer. Definitely makes this part of the process a lot easier. And this is farm 4. Now farm 4, we need to go ahead and get an arm on there. We'll fill that in there too. I still need to finish the railing on robot farm 3. It's collecting all this wheat laying around. Could just convert it into flour. Didn't think of that. A little stack of here for now. It's got a little while before it goes. And of course, we got plenty of wheat upstairs if I need, you know, extra seeds or whatnot. Just kind of see what's going on down here. Remind me what's going on. Yeah. So effectively, you know, to the left is going to be the farms, and on the right there was going to be all the gas processing. All right. Okay, it's quiz time now. Guess what I do wrong? I do correct it by the end of this episode, so but there is a an error that happens here. I will discover it and I will correct it. And the error will be easier if you actually watch my, at least watch the V2 robotic farm video. It doesn't put me back any, so it's not a big deal. So we need some more housing. We need another one for farm 3 and farm 4. I should move those deep miners. They're in the way there. I actually don't get to those in this episode. Probably a little early getting those up and running. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the more of the farming stuff going. So in this episode, I will get farms like 1, 2, and 3 up and running. 4 is under construction. It's growing, but I have to finish up the railings on that. And then the next episode, I will focus on processing the wheat. So the wheat there's a couple choices. What we're going to do is, I think initially what I'm going to do, I'm just going to route it into a recycler and then stack it and then run it and then put it in a centrifuge to give me biomass. So I'm going to go the biomass route. You can take wheat and wheat seeds and run them directly into a advanced composter, but I don't want to deal with the fertilizer at this point. Not until we get the robotic update, and even then, you know, there's a lot of plants growing here, so I kind of question the need. Well, there's no need for fertilizer. You can just throw a lot more stuff at it. And even now, I'm generating, I believe I'm generating way too much oxygen. I'm getting to the point now that, you know, at some point, now I have to start making water that will consume it. So that will be useful. So we got to print a bunch of chutes. And we need some more power chutes. And that's for the import bin for the for farm 3 and 4. I actually wish they had something nicer than they reuse the import bin and export bins for working with the robot, and because they have to like set them flat on the ground, and they just seem kind of weird to lay on the ground like that. So I mean, I understand they had something, it's functional, just reuse it, not spend all the extra work of coming up with another device just for the robot. Maybe at some point they'll refactor that. Good old French fries. And the alt click for the quick water refill. You know, I'm playing on normal, and it does seem I still go through, you know, a bit of water. Grab some more railings. Also, I want to go ahead and put some more solar panels out in the back there and get the power situation improved a bit. So we got a lot of printing to do. We got to print up a whole bunch of chutes. Now I did play around at least with the current production builds. I wasn't able to put 2 robot stations on the same set of railings. It wouldn't let me do that. So you're basically currently kind of stuck with, you know, per set of railings, you have 1 set of robots. There's no overlap. So if you want to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the only way with the current production build to move an item from one robot to another robot would be to drop it into ImportBin, have a chute to an export bin, and then so basically one robot would drop it in the ImportBin, the chute would send it over to an export bin, and then the second robot would pick it up from the export bin and move it along to whatever it's doing. And those bins are, you know, a little costly and alloys to make. If they're like cheaper, then it'd be less of an issue. And they're pretty big, you know. I wish they were, and they don't fit in the squares very well. So here it is. As I said, I'm not using the design I have in V2. I didn't want to like rip all this apart and recable everything. So this is fine. We'll just set this up and once it's set up, then I don't have to muck with it anymore. And once I get these things, you know, configured, famous last words, I don't think I'll need to make any changes to the software or hardware at this point, at least for the farms. I have been thinking about, you know, in some future, if you want to run a very large farm, how you can make this a lot more compact and kind of push these things together a little bit more and run multiple robots, different configurations of running them. But not for this series. I mean, I gotta kind of get around that one end so we don't, and do realize that the robot can collide with chutes if you put them in the wrong place. Okay, so that's that, and then we'll just kind of snake this all the way down. Each one will join in. We'll go all the way down to farm 4, and once we hit farm 4, we'll cut across to the other side. I'm just going to move the robot arm back to try and get out of the way so I don't get smacked. So put that back there. I put it back to station 1. That's another hint for the bug we have here. And so another thing I noticed, I didn't finish this one. So I go, oh, I didn't actually finish farm 3 here. Yeah, I miscounted my rows there. There's 4 rows. So it's only the last row. That row 5 will have the piece that goes way out. Okay, so that goes there, and we need one more there. For that will be, of course, we build this in. And yeah, I can see a large robot installation going through a lot of railings. I guess it's like pipes, but these are, I forget what they cost, but it's a bit. I think they're not too bad, just a lot of steel. I decided to just go ahead and give all these names, just so if I see them on the network, I kind of know which housing I'm working with. I mean, for the most part, if I'm scanning through, I want to ignore it, but this way I don't scan through and just see a bunch of, you know, I see housing, I see housing. All right, so we're getting number 3 set up here. And I will discover that I can't find Farm 3 robot arm. I wonder why. And no, this is not the test pop quiz part. This is the it works better when it's plugged in part. Yeah, I was trying to like hover the mouse to get the name, what the current name is, and when you hover, it keeps saying what station it is, and so there's like a place for the you mean the station index because it's both the station and the dock. Got an extra stacker now. And I keep going past my little locker area, not really leveraging it. I think it's more for stuff I want to sort of archive and just put it somewhere and not really muck with it. And I am running out of iron, believe it or not. Building all those chutes. Yeah, we're just, I think we're out of steel over here. Oh, a little bit more. Of course, making those, all those trays, hydroponic trays and chutes and railings. And that definitely burns through a lot of ingots. There's the additional solar panels. We don't really have that system hooked into the main base yet, so for the most part the focus is getting the farms up, and then when we have like wait for things to print, then we'll kind of muck around with maybe adding some more. Oh, actually we will add some more solar panels and some other little things. Let's do some shooting. Yeah, I kind of play around with the chutes a little bit and different designs, and honestly, so another thing I considered is I believe there's nothing here that requires a frame. So basically the hydroponic trays devices do not require a tray, and I don't think the import bins require trays, and obviously the chutes don't require trays. So you could just use a flooring piece instead of a frame for the floor here on that side, and run some of that piping plumbing underneath them, and then just put a flooring in there. I'm not going to rip the floor up to do all that work, but I think that in a new design, I would move some of the I would move the liquid plumbing, possibly some of the wiring, and then this would be under the trays. I think that make it smoother. So basically, you have robots on top, trays in the middle, and plumbing and chutes underneath. And just kind of checking out what's going on over here, make sure everything is happy, and we burn to another filter. All right, so the orange one in the middle in there, I haven't actually done anything with. That's, I think, for volatiles. Sometime in the future. Yeah, notice I don't want battery. Yeah. I have a note to build some wireless batteries for that, but I don't get to it because I forgot. All right, we're going to just export that. Has anyone guessed the mistake I made? Grab some more chutes, and we are get our last ingot of iron there. So we'll have to do a mining run. Go ahead and get a bunch more iron. It's a lot of wheat. So then we'll do the same thing. We'll snake this up. Yeah, because I don't like that pipe going up there. So I think in a future series, I'll just route this underneath the flooring, play around with that a little bit. All right, so that's all connected, and we just got 3 farms that are all. I still have to continue that down. It goes down and down. All right, checking those settings. Now, one thing I realized that I could turn these on because the first thing it's going to do is wait for that first tray to seed. So I don't have to watch it and wait for that first one to seed before turning them on. I can just turn them on and let the magic of code deal with that condition, which I will do in this episode. I realized that at some point. Oh, this code is smart. It can deal with that. And speaking of transform, the other thing I could have done, I could at least put all the farms, all 4 farms on the same transformer. That would at least made the setting a little easier here. I'm just looking at my wheat here. Okay, I'm going to say, heck, I'll turn it on. And I go, why is it hovering over station 2? I mean station 1. Why does it hover over station 0? It should be over station 0, not station 1. What's going on here? Let's pull the chip out. Let's look at the code. All right, so the problem here, have you guessed it? The problem here is that in the V2 farming video, I have the import bin on the left hand side, in other words, next to the robot dock. On this version, I have the import bin on the far right at past the very last tray. And since I copied this script from the V2 series, it still was set up for that previous configuration. So the fix is just to update these configuration defines to where everything's at. So, and what's nice about this, you just change those values and, you know, magic will occur. Just kind of, what I'm doing, I'm checking my assumptions of all the numbers. Now another problem here, notice that I haven't finished putting the railings in, so there's actually some railings missing on the other side. And that's why I notice it doesn't go all the way to 35 at the end. I go, what? Wait, this is 0. This is 34, 35, that's correct. Okay. We'll take that chip out because we need to reprogram it. And we take that chip out and reprogram it. So why is this? So the other one, and I looked at for farm 3, I would look at the numbers and go, we need to print another. We need a chip for. Oh, we actually need some more railings since I know it's a railing. Yeah. And so when I looked at the last one on farm 3, the numbers were too small, and that's when I realized I didn't have enough railings in there. Just double checking my numbers here. All right, so everything's good. We'll just export that. Export that. Okay. Now, to pick on CrowdStrike again. Imagine I had 100,000 RobotArm stations and I made a mistake. And then I would have to go through. I'm turning that off just to verify the auto turn on. Right. So if I made a mistake with my code and each RobotArm had its own chip, how much pain would it be to pull every single chip and reprogram it and put them back in to fix that mistake for your 100,000 robots? Well, welcome to what happened when CrowdStrike happened, because when the machines died at the kernel level, the only way, well, not the only way, but one of the common ways to fix it was to actually physically connect to the machine and go ahead and go through the BitLocker process, delete a file, and then recover that way. So every machine, that's why it took a long time, because people, you see pictures of people like in the airport, you know, with the machine, with the terminal ripped apart, and they're in there with whatever tools they're using to fix it. All right. Fortunately, I only have 3 chips to update, so it's not as bad making a mistake and have to update 3. What I should have done, I should have had a ring system going, which means I should have first validate that farm 1 is make an update, prop it to farm 1, make sure farm 1 is happy, and once I really realize that farm 1 is happy, then update the other farms with the update. All right, so this is 6.98 kilomoles. I checked this later on, it's like 8 something. So the plants are definitely pumping out the O2. And I'm just using we, I'm not using ferns or anything else. As I said, it's you don't need ferns, you just need to throw a lot of stuff at it. Now I have to make the water. We're working that. The next thing we have to make is we have to make volatiles. And unfortunately, the path to volatiles is well, there's 2 paths to volatiles. One path is, which is a shorter path, is to go ahead and just take it, dump it into a composter. You'll get volatiles and nitrogens, which is both useful gases. I had a little bit of oxide in my and I don't think that little bit of oxide cranked up my oxygen tank. All right, let's go back to over. So everything looks happy now. We still got to finish farm 4. But farm 1 through 3, and farm 4 is growing. We just have to finish the doing all the wiring and get the railings up and whatnot. But it's not a big rush since the plants are still growing. All right, so back to our volatile problem. So using automation, I only know 2 ways to acquire volatiles. The first is take plant stuff, throw it in an advanced composter. We'll ignore the basic one, the portable one. That's not very useful for automation. And that will generate, consumes water though, but it will generate volatiles and nitrogen. And you get fertilizer out of that. And there's not much you can do with the fertilizer except for fertilizer. You can't burn it. And you can destroy it by throwing it into a furnace if you want to just get rid of it. An arc furnace won't accept it. All right, so then the other process is, which does not consume water, is to go ahead and take it and run it through a recycler, optional stacker, which I'm going to do, and then run it into one or more centrifuges, and that gives you biomass. And that's the only way I know to get biomass is, taking food, making reagents. You can do food or wheat or rotted food, or there's something else that you can feed in there to give you biomass. So then, but it does require effectively going to a recycler and a centrifuge to get biomass. And centrifuges are just a pain. All right, so once you have biomass, you can run biomass, take that, and you take an arc furnace and close it. This would work I believe work in a normal furnace, but you have to deal with the mixed gases. We're not going to bother with that. We'll do the arc furnace solution. Burn through the arc furnace, that gives you volatiles and CO2. Both are useful. And so I think it's volatiles and pollutants, or CO. I think it's volatiles and pollutants. That gives you charcoal. You take the charcoal and run it back through back through an arc furnace. Now you'll get CO2 and I think more pollutants. So that double burn gives you volatiles and CO2. Both you need. The volatiles you need for making water, and the CO2 you need for growing plants. Of course, when you make water, you'll have a ton of CO2, so that's really not a big issue. But you get your charcoal, and the charcoal, you run it to the charcoal twice, is now being degassed, so now you can run it into a solid generator, and the solid generator will not output any gases, so you could use it inside. I'm not sure how much heat it puts out, though. But you can get rid of, or use the charcoal for making steel, so you have that option too. And it's degas, which makes it, well, if you run it to twice, it's degas, which makes it nicer there. So in the next episode, I may support both methods, but next episode I'll set up the recycler, stacker, centrifuge method. Oh, so when I set up those 3 solar panels, I made a mistake there, which I'll correct later on. Quiz time again. What did I forget to do? All right, so I need to run that big battery because I want to clean this top off. So I need to run the cable over here, not disrupt things too much. And I'm thinking, well, as a step 1, let's convert these cables to heavy cable. That way, when I hook the heavy cable in from the other side behind me and pull these batteries out, because I'll have the large stationary battery to tap off of, then it makes it easier because I'm already got heavy cable up here. So, and then I have to go down and reroute the cabling down there. The other advantage is that if I run heavy cables down, I can put a battery charger on there without worrying about pulling too much current and blowing the line. by putting too many batteries in it. Also gives me the option to finally use nuclear batteries. So I do make 2 nuclear batteries in this episode. Nuclear batteries are interesting. They're about 64% the power of the smaller stationary battery, which I have 6 of those on the roof, 4 of those on the roof. And so if you put one of those, in an APC, or put 2 of those in it, and have 2 APCs with 2 nuclear batteries, you actually have more storage capacity than a station battery, which is interesting. All right, so we're going to have to convert that heavy cable to a light cable, so we have to re-cable the whole place right now. So let's run this. And we'll make a charger, and that's where I realize I'm out of iron. No iron. And I don't know what the solder is doing over here. Let's put it over here so easy to track. Okay. So I'm out of iron, and I'm not going to go and grovel, a little bit of iron just for this scenario. So I'm going to have to go out and do a mining run and catch up on the iron. So I can't make that yet. And off goes the transformer. I'm not really sure where to put this. Frankly, I'm probably better off just putting an APC right here. But, I go, well, we'll just stick this here. Just get it functional because I cut power off from downstairs, so I want to get that back up and running again. Yeah, let's go all the way. All right, so I reestablished power downstairs, so we'll keep on injecting CO2. Okay, got another Larry arm and more railings and more chutes, and I got so much power I really don't need to turn that stuff off. And that's not going to work. Oh, it does work. I have to take my helmet off. I'm sorry. Thought my suit was on. Now my suit's back on. Yeah, I'm not really happy with my airlock designs. I'm thinking about something more advanced. I don't think I'll use it in this series, but I think in a future series I'll do something else. Or be like, more advanced airlock once things are get going here. Alright, so let's get us in a configuration for doing some mining. We'll turn on our beacon. And let's do some 5x mining now. And since I'm pretty sure you see me do smelting here, I'm going to keep the smelting going on at 5x, and we'll whip through this stuff. We're just going to go through and make a little steel if you have the thing, and then make, and everything else we'll just take the silicon. We got quite a bit of silicon backed up, and then the rest of the iron and the copper, and we throw it in a little chute. Thought about setting up a second furnace and just have the output go directly into that chute, so I don't have to do this manual operation. And put a hopper on top of it, so I just throw everything in the hopper and it goes through, and make this a lot faster. But I want to keep going on the farm, so I didn't want to spend time reconfiguring all this stuff in this episode. Alright, so I got done smelting a bunch of stuff up, and let's see what's going on with this tank here. Pretty sure it's empty now. If I can find my, there it is. And it's empty, so all that CO2 we had, we've pulled it all out. So we can go ahead and quickly and carefully. Have you all spotted what I did wrong with the solar panels? I look over there. Yep. If your answer was, I forgot to name them, then you win a prize. A prize of knowing you're smarter than I am. Okay, no big deal. Let's rename. That's why I kind of look over there. They're real obvious to know because you just look at them and which ones are not like the others. And all right, now they're tracking. I dumped all that out and close this. Just looking what I have. Still have my original 200 credits. I haven't done any trading. So this, for this moon series, I will not be doing any trading. There's no need for anything. Yep, so I need a piece of iron. Get those deep miners out of the way. Yeah, I don't get to those in this episode. Probably not next episode either. I think I was a little premature in making those. I need to get the volatile. I need to get volatile production running and the then water production running. I'm actually that big area I put underneath the base that's open. I'm actually going to put the water production down there. So I'll have the combustor in that area, so I'll be able to run the pipes down. And since I need to cool it all down anyway, I'll just put the radiators out open. I'll probably use the, I'm trying to think, do the extending? I'm trying to think how high this extending radiators need. Can they fit within 2 frames, or do they require 3 frames? All right, so now I'll put this here. I have the cable in the wrong place, and well, I really want it looking correct, but then I gotta go out and move the cable upstairs, and I don't want to do it right now. So we'll just stick it here. We got our chutes in the way here. All right, so now we have from our battery to here, battery to the battery charger, we have just high power cable, so we can put whatever batteries in there we want. Yeah, my first nuclear battery. My first nuclear battery ever. For as long as I've done Stationeers, I've never made a nuclear battery. really never had the need per se, but I was looking through the battery list when I made the large batteries, and I go, oh, I should make a nuclear. I saw the nuclear batteries in the list there, and I go, well, maybe I should make one of these. All right, so we're all out of soy, oil. So we're going to do some quick 5x soybean farming here. Now, I can see putting soybean on a robot arm. That could be useful because even if you got to do the final reagent processing manual, having a nice stack of soybeans coming out, you can just make that oil, would be nice. And we take that, stick it in there, and more French fries. And we got a nuclear battery, and we're going to drop it in there and wait about 4 episodes for it to charge up. And make another one. So I figured I put one in my suit and one in the arc welder, but then I realized I don't see any big construction projects coming up anytime soon. I'm looking at my so basically all the robots are waiting for the plants to grow, and by me staring at them, they'll grow faster. Okay, there's a bit more O2 in there, and that was not from that little bit of oxide I dropped. My plants are just going crazy here. Just checking the filters. I think next time I'm going to put heavy filters in those things. Probably worth putting alarms in there, although I got more gas to process. So for now we're kind of like keeping track of things. It's not really expanding that quickly. So I do have a good O2 supply coming out, so when we get the volatiles going on, we just kind of snake those downstairs and we'll start making water. And we don't really have to swap our tanks, but we're down here. Between using smart tanks and being on the moon, those tanks last a long time. And I just grabbed some ice, when I was mining, accidentally, hit some ice pockets. So we'll just go ahead and grind those up. And yeah, we need a lot more stuff here. Get our Mr. Larry up. Make sure I put in the right spot. And I'm going to run these chutes all the way down and connect that up. Just double checking. Just remember what I did over here is they're all symmetrical or identical. I'm trying to pre-guess, and then I realize I shouldn't just bother with this. I should just work my way from the endpoints. And for example, go to the import bin there and work my way up like now. Okay, it goes up. Yeah. marrying my plants there by looking at them. Okay, so not sure where to put the tank, but we'll put 2 tanks. Oh, here's some extra shoots I had laying around. We'll use those. And we just, boom, nope, right there, and one right there, and put our junction in there, using the keyboard to shuffle things around, double checking it. Yep, looks good. And I want to run this over there. We'll run it down the center, so we'll pop that one out. So all the output from all farm 1 through 4 will come all the way down here. And we'll take it to the other side of the base. This avoids the glass floor. Very important not to block your nice view of the workshop down here with ducts. Or should I say chutes. Once again, I'm kind of... I think it looks pretty cool down here. All these farms going. Kind of nice it worked out getting those 4 farms in. So that was kind of lucky there. How's my nuke battery going? Yeah. Now I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to discharge my batteries on the roof there and just drain them down until the sun comes up and end up shutting down my gas processing below me. Kind of wondering, well, maybe that wasn't the best place to put that. Maybe I should have put that on my those big batteries outside. Or put them directly off the, probably directly off the solar. So you probably don't need to change them that often. Put them directly off the solar main charging line. And then, because typically the other batteries will catch up, and so they should charge with excess power. And you know, I daisy chained those 2 batteries, and the assumption is I thought they would pull evenly, but I guess whatever is the lowest one it pulls from, and I assume when one battery goes dead, it'll pull from the other one. Alright, so I'm kind of looking around, thinking about what's going on here. I kind of like that radiator I have there. It kind of looks nice. So this is the one I'm going to, after I use up the cables I have, I'm going to run this down. This will be the one that replace one side of the base. So those double station batteries I have on the right side of the base, this will replace that one. The other one, the other large station battery on the other side will replace the other ones. And then I can clean off that roof. And although this wiring is a little longer, my concern around this cable is I'm going to block something else in the future, trying to do something. And I'm not sure if I run it down, partly down the wall, run it down the edge, run it down the edge of the frame, down the middle of the frame. Either go that way, or just so I just go ahead and run it this way. And then I'll have another one on the other side, and so that will operate the upper half of the base. And then I need to print up a whole bunch more heavy cables. Probably should have started that when I was in here. Okay, kind of look at my batteries. Yep, charging away slowly. If there's any way to make those things charge faster, let me know. Come down here and look at my farms again. No one's moving yet. Looking for something to do here. So, all right, so we're getting close to the end of the episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this with a quick mining run. Let's see. Yep. Need to print up a bunch more rails. Get that going. I'm trying to avoid printing up too many rails and just have this big pile of rails I don't need. Kind of think of anything else I have to do before I go out. I guess that's it. Got my suit already on. Get rid of some junk out of my inventory here. I wonder how long it takes those batteries, nuke batteries, to charge up. Of course, put that in my suit, and that should be, have two of them toggle in my suit. It'll be a long time for, hopefully I need to switch batteries back and forth. All right, I'm going to switch over to mining configuration here. Double checking my batteries and say, well, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll go out and mine. We'll come back and put the stuff in the lockers. No, not much nickel here. No smelting, and then enter the airlock, open the door, and that'll be done with this episode. So until next time, see ya.